ask somebody else.
I'm like, what name tag?
I'm going to pass you over to somebody that knows what they're doing.
Right.
All right, you ready to knock into this thing?
Yeah.
Let's get it, man.
All
You ready?
right.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Today I have with me the one, the only, Miss Sam Watson, or should I say Thrift?
It's still Watson.
I'm about to say, I'd be like, you'd be writing your name on paper, and you'd definitely still put Watson, right?
Yeah, no.
That's like a long changeover on that.
And it's still like legally Watson.
Gotcha.
It's a long process,
Yeah.
and not one that I've started.
Write it out. Keep the Watson.
Yeah, and even when I do change it over, I'll keep the Watson.
Gotcha, as your
my
stage name.
My stage name.
That's smart. See, I'd
Because so much
that.
is in it. Like
Yeah,
my logo, and my website, and my
Yeah, Thrift's just going to have to hang off there, yeah. I love that, yeah. I was going to ask you that because I was like, as an artist, when your name changes, do you change with it? But it depends, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
What
What's that
the
like?
tank had to change. Yeah, we can't change. We're too deep in this, We're committed. I got a banner,
Yeah.
We're committed. All right, so let's kind of get the origin story on you. Like, when did you start? I mean, you're technically considered an illustrator, right? Is that the description of it? But you said you're painting today. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Like,
so,
give me a little breakdown on it.
illustration is just kind of like, I guess, how you would think of the genre. So it's more like story-based. It's not, I guess it can be abstract, but it's not typically abstract.
Gotcha.
It's just a very specific, like, sector of the art world, what you would see in magazines and books and like publication-wise.
Is it like you take pictures that already exist and like jazz them up kind of, right? Like make them yours kind of, or no?
I do. Like, I don't work off the original image. It's an entirely new image, but I like have to look at something.
Gotcha.
A lot of artists can like do it from their brain. Yeah. I don't have anything up here. It's all I gotta look at all of it.
Who needs it? Who needs it?
Right.
So wait, every one that you've done on your Instagram, you don't take an image, like you take an image and just look at it, and then you build it in there. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I like fully redraw it, resketch it.
Okay.
Like,
interesting.
Stylize it.
See, I didn't know that. I figured you took an image and like made it into your thing, which is cool. Interesting. Yeah. All right, well, cool. Now we'll get some detail on this. I've been excited about this because never had any artists on. And actually, a girl DM'd me this week on the podcast. She's like, Jameson, you know what you need to have? More female artists on here. I was like, tomorrow. I was like, we got one. So yeah, tell me how you kind of got started doing this sort of stuff. Like your origin story on how you started painting or drawing or illustrating, whatever it is.
Yeah. So I guess like everyone else, just art in elementary school, very quickly became someone who was like, oh, you need something drawn? Yeah. Samantha can do that.
That's
like
me.
Samantha's
Commission.
Right. So, like literally third grade, I'm like, you want to customize this paper wallet I made? That's gonna be another $1. Like,
I'll take an extra milk at lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Like right out of the bat.
I love that.
Commercializing.
LLC.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, you just sneak me one of those lollipops? I got you.
Deal.
We'll add
Sold.
color.
I love that. Well, so you just loved it instantly.
Yeah.
Immediate love on it, or it took a while? Like, was it like, all right, I'm gonna do this?
No,
it wasn't.
It definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't like that. Took a break from like thinking of myself as an artist and like doing art a lot in middle school. Turned towards music. I did band and percussion and like the girls' rock camp in Athens.
Sick, yeah. Like
drum.
Camp Amp stuff, or
it's similar to Camp
Amp.
But at the time it was like all girls. Like, you go for 2 weeks, you make your own bands, you write your own songs.
Awesome.
We played at the 40 Watt.
Let's go. That's cool. Yeah. I hope that's still a thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think they changed it to it's no longer just for girls. So it's like,
gotcha. It's everybody.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we like record it.
Yeah. That's hype.
Yeah.
I think that was my first band experience too, with something like that. Like, you paid and then you got a week with the band or whatever, and it's like, all right, here's my big break. This is it.
Yeah. So then I was like, I'm a rock star. I'm gonna be a drummer. This is my path.
Yeah, this is it right here.
And then I took like 6 years of piano. I had like 4 different piano instructors.
That's a long time.
Didn't stick.
Really?
Not a single day of it.
6 years? Just gone.
Just gone.
But what was it about music that made you want to switch from art to there? Was it just like the creative part of it?
I have just always loved music. My mom took me to my first concert when I was 7. They would like sit me up on the barrier,
prop you up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then from like that point on, we would just go to like 2 to 3 concerts a year, traveling, stuff like that. So I've always been very, very into music and concerts and
yeah,
bands
it's a little more like in your face than art would be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
like
it's much more general. It's much more like approachable.
Like everybody is into it, kind of, or should be. I think it'd be weird if somebody wasn't into music.
They were like, I just don't like music.
Yeah, like I don't like songs. They'd be like, any of them?
Right.
All of them? A little sus on that.
Yeah, art is definitely a little more like behind the curtain.
Gotcha.
For most people.
For sure.
Okay, so middle school into band, high school or middle school got really into sports. I played volleyball through high school. That's actually like I was either going to go to college for volleyball or art.
Really?
So yeah, and
so
like
it all.
Yeah, like my last 2 years of high school was the like, okay, what am I going to do?
Like, trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Got much more into art. And then junior year of high school, I interned with David Hale, who's an artist in town. Yeah. He did the Birdsong mural. That was outside of. So he recently repainted it, but it was outside of Rickin Pond on Washington, right across the street from 40 Watt. Like the 20 birds.
The big one, yeah.
So I worked on that in high school.
That's
I interned with him. And that was the first time where I was like, you can like do this,
as a
like,
living,
this is an option for someone. So then after that, decided to go to college.
That's awesome.
And went to
so
VCU
it became
Arts.
obvious. It was like, all right, art's the move here.
Yeah,
interesting. And it is cool. Those are like big moments because I remember like getting into music business program, being like, wait, we really could do this? Like, I'm not just like bullshitting myself. Like, this is a real thing. So that's good. And when you were interning with him, what kind of stuff were you doing? Just helping him touch up stuff or like just watching? You know
so it was this insane process where he printed out all of his designs. He did them physically, like he painted them, and then he put them on the computer and he blew them up like times 500 or something like that. Printed them out, flipped them around, used acetone to get the ink off onto the canvas that we were using, and then us little baby interns would trace over it with his paint markers. And he would do like the big stuff. He'd be like, paint that circle.
Yeah. That square right there.
Right.
Needs to be black.
Like, that one's yours.
Yes.
Right.
But it was fun, right?
Yeah. No, it was a ton of fun. Learned a lot. Learned a lot about just like the creative process.
Yeah, which is kind of the name of the game for you guys, right? That's like the whole thing. I wanted to talk about this a little bit because like I was trying to put it in my head how I was going to ask you this, but like you guys don't perform, if that makes sense. Like the whole process is making it, right? And then like somebody can look at it every day, you know, which is the performance part of it. But like music, you make this song and you play it every night.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you guys don't have that performance thing, which I want to see what you thought about that. It's like, where's the, because like that's what I like is performing it. You know what I'm saying? So like, where's that for you guys?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, sweet. I asked it in my head earlier. I was like, that's so dumb. Like I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but it does.
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
For me personally, like not every artist has this experience, but I do the markets. So I started doing local markets when I graduated and came back home.
You did one last week, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great.
I'd wondered if that was like you guys' performance per se.
Yes.
Like showing up and like meeting the people and like, check this out.
And people are like, this is awesome. I love it. I'm going to buy it. You get money. We're done. You know, like.
See ya.
That's the whole thing. I'm there all day. I'm tired as hell when I leave.
It's fun though. I like stuff like that.
Yes.
That's cool. Like
there's a lot of prep that goes into it. And
you got to get your booth right. You got to have your cooler. You know, it's everything. Yeah.
And I am very introverted. So like when I get there, I'm like, you know, that's the performance. It's like hi.
How's it going?
Don't you like this?
This is great, right?
Right.
Well, that's cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also for like fine artists, it would be the gallery shows when you have your
like
work
your whole discography. I talk everything in music terms. I'm sorry. What would that be called? Catalog?
No, it would be
I guess
like an exhibit, like a gallery exhibit.
Gotcha.
So you got your work up in a museum for a month. That's your show. You're prepping for like a year on these paintings. You put it up. You've got an opening night. Everyone comes.
Yeah. Have you ever done any stuff like that?
I've done a couple, just like not any to that level. I did one in Hendershots. I did one at the library. Right.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
And then Nope, that's it.
That's it? Well, that makes sense, though. Like, you work on something a whole year, and then it's like you perform it for a month or whatever. That's like dropping an album, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's like
yes.
same
You're
concept.
like, okay,
this is what I did.
Let's see how it works.
Yeah, interesting. And people like bid on them, I guess, that kind of stuff. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Sweet. Any other examples of like how you perform art, if that makes sense? Or is that kind of it? Well, I mean, it kind of gets performed every time you look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the performing.
Yeah.
You know.
And then I feel like most artists, like just the personality of the visual artist is like, I don't want you to tell me what you think. You know, like bands are like you feed off of it.
You want to hear
like,
it.
That's what I do this for, is for the audience and for their interaction with what I'm doing. But artists are like,
don't care.
Yeah.
Don't want to know. Don't want to know. Because the process for you guys is just making it, right?
Yeah.
That's where all the fun is, right?
Yeah.
You ever get sad when you finish them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, man, I was hooked in that one, or like that was a era. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's typically like anger, like right at the end. You're like, I'm so over this thing.
Really?
It is not like I am done. I guess it would be like Trevor talks to me about this, like trying to get the right mix on a song, and you just cannot get it to.
And eventually, you're just
work
like, you're just like, fuck it, this is it. Like,
right? Exactly.
This is it,
So working on art is like very similar.
Yeah. Okay. Another question on this, because now I'm deep. We're gonna go back to the origin story though in a second, because I think we were in the high school era or somewhere. Or no, we were about to go to college.
Yeah.
When you guys do like on a song, for example, like me and Trev weren't digging the mix, we would maybe do it again. You guys don't really have that choice, do you? Or do you?
You do it again.
You do it again?
You start over. Wow. And I think the benefit of like visual arts over working on music is that there's so much prep that goes into it. You do sketches, you do color studies, you do like, and I guess it's the same. Like you would maybe do different harmonies or something, but there's so much more that goes into it before you actually start it. So it's basically already done in your head. Yeah. You're like, I've done 27 sketches. I know what it's going to look like.
It, kind of.
And now you have to, all you have to do is put all the pieces together. You've already got them.
So you always sketch them in advance, usually, you think? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I didn't know that either. I figured this was like the first go, and I was like, all right, we got to get this motherfucker right. You know what I mean? Which is tough, I'm sure. Yeah. Like the pressure of like, all right, I've done it 27 times, got to get it right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that tough?
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah, if I had to guess. Yeah.
And sometimes it'll also be like, all right, I'm on number 27. Or you get to the best one, and you're like, I need to kick a few more out to see if I can change anything. And then you usually go back to like number 10. You're like, that's the best
like
one.
I already had it.
Yes. Okay. I already had it. We had to just get all of the other shit out. Like, now let's go backwards.
It's so weird how that works. Like, same thing with music. Like, we'll do 10 takes of a song. It's like, what are we doing? Like, these are all the same at some point. Or like 3 was fine. You know what I'm saying? So, interesting. All right. I'm liking all these comparisons.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. All right. Back to college. We're about to go to college, right?
Yeah, we're about to go to college.
Tell me how that happens.
Graduated college, went to Richmond, Virginia, VCU Arts for 3.5 years.
That's kind of bold. What's the choice on that? Like, all right, I'm going to go out of state and go to Richmond.
VCU at the time, or I guess they still are. I don't know. They kind of just like, I think, say they're the number one.
The big dog? I do that.
Well, it was like 2012 that this happened, but they got like a number one public art school in the country, like in some type of list. Yeah. And they were still doing that. They were like, we're the number one art school in the country.
Pull up.
Yeah. Okay. Like, don't talk about how this was said in 2012.
We were at one point in time the number one.
But yeah, so that's why I went. Just had great.
Somebody was telling me, it might have been you, it might have been somebody else, that like the SCAD was your other choice, right? Or was it that SCAD sucks?
That was me.
Okay, that was it. All right, now I remember. Yeah, it was that like SCAD's like overrated kind of. Yeah.
Oh, I hate SCAD.
All right, sweet, cool. All right, nice. Continue on.
Okay.
VCU, right?
VCU.
All right,
yeah.
sweet.
So went to Richmond.
Yeah, which is a strange place to go to, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was so funny because I was like, I'm going north, guys.
Yeah,
and I got there and I was like, I'm still in the south.
It's still country out here.
Yeah.
There's a Confederate flag over there. Exactly. I'm scared.
It's like, this is the capital of the Confederacy.
Virginia's a weird place, man.
Yeah.
I like it though. I like it. It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Great community, great like artist community, just where everyone wanted to do it, everyone was really into it. It's very similar to the music business program where everyone's like, and there's so many different fields, there's artist management, there's like working on movies, working on books, working on comics, like the whole spectrum.
Just engulfed I don't know if engulfed's the right word, and like being around people that like what you like.
Yes, exactly.
And the whole school what was the name of the school again?
VCU Arts.
What does the VCU stand for?
Virginia Commonwealth University.
Okay, so is it all art students or is just everything?
Yeah,
okay.
The Virginia Commonwealth University is just a university, and then the VCU Arts was the specific college within it.
Okay, so you found a cool like culture there, kind of seeing other artists that. Does Athens have that big of a no, it doesn't? All right, sweet. Curious.
Yeah.
Is the art scenes kind of like the music scenes where like there's certain spots?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Like New York and stuff
because they
like
feed
that.
each other, it's where the artists
Interesting.
go.
What are some spots? Like I don't know. I'm ignorant on this subject, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to learn.
Well, it's like it's hard to compare because you've got your like big industry spots. So you've got LA, you've got New York where they're working on movies, or like you've got huge artists, but then it's also expensive and you're still an artist and you're like still trying to survive. And then like Athens, I think Athens has a great local art community where like the town really honors its artist, but maybe the like audience or the business side of things doesn't
it's not
really
fully there.
Gotcha. It doesn't like honor its artists as much as a town or a place like LA would, where they're like, oh, you're an artist, you can do this and this and this. And Athens is like, oh, you're an artist,
you're on your own.
yeah.
You're out there,
right.
And like, do you guys as artists, I'm asking you a bunch of big questions here, like you guys, what's the name of the game for like keeping it going? Because like, you know what I mean, like you're trying to make your living from this, obviously, like that's tough. Like as musicians can get more gigs, you guys can't just paint a picture every day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Or like do a project every day?
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
you could, I guess, but like that's a stretch maybe.
Yeah.
On
so
like quality.
It's all about the passive income.
Okay.
It's all about print and publication and things like that. So
interesting.
Or you could work for a studio. You could like just be one of 100 artists who's drawn one thing over and over and over and over. And that's a
quality.
Quality
way to do it.
And that's a 9-to-5, salary job within the art field. There's graphic design.
That's a big one,
where
right?
you fit into
whatever somebody needs, kind of. Which is that stuff like, do you want to, as an artist, do you want to like always be not drawing, but like, is it different like graphic design on the computer? If you get what I mean, like I'm trying to explain it, like drawing something, is that as satisfying as making something in the computer? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it makes sense.
Yeah,
but
but
I don't know if it's as satisfying. And every artist is different, because you've got your musicians who only want to jam. They want to make what they're making in that moment, and then that's it.
Yeah.
You've got your artists or your musicians who want to make jingles, who want to do something that's going to live forever.
Everything.
You've got your your musicians who want to perform.
Yes.
So every artist is really different. For me, I hate working on the computer. I hate graphic design.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, that's what I was kind of asking. Is it the same? Is it like like making a song fully in a computer with like beats and like samples to me would not be as fun as playing it.
Right.
Same thing, right?
Same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, I don't always just want to paint. I don't always enjoy painting. I most often work like on my iPad and I digitally draw.
Yeah. That's a good middle ground maybe. Okay. And when you're at VCU, what do you kind of like going into there? What's your favorite thing to do? Like what's your goal to like get out of it? You know what I mean? Like what'd you go there for?
Yeah. So in high school, I was doing a lot of what is it called? I was doing much more like abstract, like conceptual work. Like, what is this lion doing? Like, I'm going to paint this lion, and it's like means all these different things.
I love that. That's cool.
So I thought I wanted to be a painter, like in a museum. Like, I'm going to study painting. I'm going to get really good at it, and then I'm going to be in a museum somewhere.
Painting away.
Love it. And then I got there, and then I was just like astounded with all of the things that you can do. And then I was like, I want to be a concept artist. I want to work on shows. I want to work on movies. Finally ended up on communication arts, which is basically illustration.
Okay.
But
communication arts, what does that mean?
Yeah. It's like
communicate. How so? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it is it was the degree or the field within VCU that was the most like story based.
Okay.
So you're given a prompt. You draw that prompt to help people understand the prompt. Like that's the idea.
That makes sense. Yeah. You're trying to get something across specifically.
Yes, exactly. It's not your own ideas. Or I guess it can be your own, but it's not like weird or abstract or
like you don't have to dissect it kind of.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Interesting.
The intention is to get that point across and help people understand.
Yeah, storytelling kind of.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, continue along.
And then my junior year of college, I had a class that was children's illustration.
Okay.
And had one of my favorite professors all of college in that class. And then I was like, this is what I want to do. I found the thing.
This is it.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
And then you knew?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you know when you know. It's like, all right, this is it. This is it.
Yeah, because every time I'd be like, okay, now I'm a painter. And then it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, now I'm a concept artist. And I had a concept teacher that was like, no, you're not. I was like, okay, you're probably right.
Noted. Usually when you have to like declare it, like, because I had a ton of things before music, you know what I mean? Like, if you weren't already doing it, you're not. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Like last year I had this idea. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I love music. I'm going to start DJing and getting all this coin at these weddings and stuff. And I like wasn't doing it already. And then like I got the board. I was like, yeah, I don't like this at all. You know what I mean? It's like usually when you just proclaim, like you would just like start doing it and you'd be like, hey, I'm a fucking DJ. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you found your thing towards the end of college.
And it clicked. And I was like, because I'd worked with children like middle of high school through college over the summer, babysitting.
Yeah. But you liked it.
Yeah, well, it was okay, but I really enjoy kids, and I really enjoy the way that kids see the world, and the way that they think, and the way that they just like
free flow
intake information. Yeah, and then like
I'm jealous.
Spit it back out at you.
They're so good at it. Yeah.
So yeah, I like love their little brains, and that was kind of the thing that clicked, where I was like, oh, I can do this, and then I can also think about this, and they're gonna merge. It's gonna be great.
Both, yeah. Awesome. And how's that been going for you?
It's been going good. It's definitely helped like gear or
tunnel.
Yeah, like
tunnel,
like tunnel my intention and focus with the work. The process is difficult and it is a long one. So the process of publication is basically doing quarterly cold calls to publishers.
Yikes.
As soon as I got out of college, I put together a list of about 500 publishers.
Damn.
And individually emailed them with specific, like, I love this about your publication, and I like these books that you've published. But it's all about, it's like, there's a lot of luck, there's a lot of work. And
what is the goal from them? What do you need from them again?
So you want to be on a page of artists that they choose from when they get a book in.
Gotcha.
So they get a manuscript in, and they're like, I like this. We're going to choose this artist that we already have, whose work we've already vetted and know that we like.
Yeah, and that ends up being your big project for a little while, right? And you've had success with that? Not yet?
Not yet.
That's one of those things you gotta bust in the door, you know, and then they snowball, you know.
Yeah, it's all about like sending or your postcard being on their secretary's desk, you know, and then someone seeing it. And
it happens, you know.
Yeah.
I believe that, yeah. You know, you just gotta like snowball it, you know what I'm saying? Once you do one, the first one will be the hardest, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's cool though. I mean, the publication thing, that's scary. 500, that's a lot of words to spread out there. Yeah. You get copy and pasting that email, getting pretty good at it?
Yeah.
I got it down to a science. You know, you got to change the name, you got to change the location, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the message is the same.
The message is the same.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, is it one of those things to where like you could make one yourself as like evidence that you could do it? Like, yeah.
Which
like,
I've done.
You've done that?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I had to do that senior year of high school. I had to come up with like a book pitch.
Yes.
And I'm currently working on like two separate stories with two separate authors.
That's awesome.
And then hopefully we'll be starting my own project that I've had in the back of my mind for a good bit. It's just
you should do that.
It takes money.
It takes money. Funding.
It takes funding.
Any investors out there? Please.
Not my Kickstarter. Just kidding. I don't know how Kickstarter works.
I don't either. So that's cool though. I mean, that makes a lot of sense now. Now I know kind of like your MO on it, if you know what I'm saying. So like for Athens though, maybe not even just an Athens question, but like an art question, like is network the name of the game? Absolutely, right? I feel like that might be for everything at this point. Everything I think about, it's like if you have a good network, like you're good. You know, that's the first step, right?
Yeah.
So how has that been tough to do in Athens? Like meeting artists with similar interests, or no? It's been awesome.
Athens has a ceiling.
Okay.
And you've got like 3 artists up here that your arts councils and your museums are paying attention to and have been for like 10 years.
Yeah, respected.
And yes.
Okay.
But maybe a little overused.
Yeah, they're too frequent.
Yeah, definitely. And then you've got like artists who are trying to put their work out and trying to like over and over again. Yeah. And there's just like this weird
intermediate
hierarchy. Yeah.
Okay.
So Athens has been an interesting experience with that.
Interesting. And you didn't go to UG at all. So like, but you grew up near here.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a network in that way.
Yeah.
And then there's like the like Grady kids, you know. I think it'd be Grady, right?
Right.
The art kids. Or no, it's not Grady.
It's you're right.
It's
not
Lamar Dodd.
Lamar
Dodd. And they're all like rookies trying to get going, you know. So interesting. That's I get what you mean though. I could see like a strange hierarchy of like if somebody needs something commissioned, they're gonna get one of the 3 big dogs maybe.
Yep.
Which is weird.
And you see the same work in the murals and in the flyers and things like that.
Well, how does one go from the intermediate dog to the big dog?
I don't know. I'll let you
question?
know.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I find out.
Keep working on it, you know. Maybe it just takes years of respected work, you know, like just keep doing your thing. And it's like, oh.
No, definitely
heard that name
like
a lot.
past few markets I've been to, people come up and they're like, "Oh, I've seen your work here 2 to 3
That's
times
great.
before. Can you do this, or can I get this in somewhere?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, 100%."
It's the name of the game, network, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you start doing more art shows, not art shows, but like I guess what is it called? Like a festival? Art show would be right?
Art show works. Yeah.
Okay. Do stuff like that, get the name out there, get a few commissions, that kind of stuff. And then like it slowly builds to where you have a catalog.
Yeah.
Or a gallery.
Yeah, kind of. The art shows are really more of that passive income that I was talking about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Really just getting my prints out there, getting to paint, making some money, paying the bills.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's like hard, like there's a hard balance because it's not really contributing to my portfolio, which is ultimately going to lead to the thing that I want to do.
Gotcha.
But it's something that I need to do
to stay afloat.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. It's the equivalent of bands playing like shitty bars.
Exactly.
Cover gigs.
Exactly.
It's the equivalent of that,
like,
right?
you have to spend all this time like to get to that next level, but you also have to do all the little things.
Yes.
To,
maybe not the most fulfilling stuff.
Right.
But you have to.
You have to do it.
You have to do it.
So yeah. And then there's also, similar to bands, like agents are available to illustrators.
Yes.
But then it's like, okay, great, you took 30% of this
off
project
the top that already wasn't making much to start with.
Right, exactly. So that's a bridge that I haven't quite gotten to yet.
And is it one of those things in the agents where in music, like you don't reach out to an agent, they hit you up. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't like, hey, you guys are a booking agency. Do you guys need another artist? That I don't think that really works for most people. Like they're like, oh, this guy's killing it. Let's pick him up. Kind of.
Yeah.
Is art like that, or could you hit an agent up?
You probably could. I think art is much more submission based than
makes
music.
sense.
You're
that
like
makes sense.
Literally everything applying to visual arts is like submit your work.
Yes.
You know,
attach that JPEG.
Right. Exactly.
PNG if you got it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Well, that's good to know. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. Attachment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And your art, I've noticed, you've got your own style going on for sure, which is very cool, by the way.
Thank you.
And it's good to know. I would have guessed that you took the picture and dropped it in there and then edited it, but you draw it all. That's so sick. It's like, I tried to describe it to Jeff like a month ago because we were talking about it. And I couldn't do it well, but it's like it's not boxy, is it? Would boxy be the right word?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's got
very angular.
Yeah, like the jaw lines will be sharper. You know?
Right.
I like that though, and
Yeah.
like there's a lot of like shadows on the faces and stuff, which is very cool.
Yeah, I'm all about organic geometry. So
like it looks
super
real.
Geometric shapes, but letting it breathe and not letting it be hard and like solid. And
it doesn't purposely look like she tried to make this like a sharp, like like a cartoon or something, but it's like still a face. It's cool, very cool. I like it. I like the shadows. There was a bunch of like shadows on the side of their face, but it's like drawing, which is so sick. What are some other stuff you would consider your style? Maybe like, do you think about that kind of stuff, or you just kind of draw away? And
it definitely used to be like a lot more on my mind. Art is a hard thing to do when you don't have your style. Because you're like, I don't know how to draw that tree. And I found my style at the beginning of COVID.
Okay. That's not that long ago. Well, good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, it's a good while, but still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so in school, I was like solely going off of my artistic ability and like design ability, but it wasn't necessarily clicking the way that I wanted to. I'm like, that image like looks good, but it doesn't feel like me. It doesn't really have the emotion I want it to. Yeah, it's lacking that oomph. Found my oomph doing band portraits.
Really?
At the beginning of COVID, because I was like, I'm upset.
I'm upset.
Yeah, I was like, I'm back home.
Down bad. We all been there.
This is a bad time.
Yeah, this is tough.
I don't know what to draw. Drawing is stupid. The world's gonna end anyway. This is ridiculous.
That's too relatable. That was that era for sure.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna draw the bands that I've been listening to, because the only thing I did was listen to music. And
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
I'm grumpy. Listening to music, and then I was doing band portraits. Yeah. So I did like Greeting Committee, Sawyer, Young the Giant,
sick,
Kings of Leon. And then my last one was LP. Do you know the artist LP?
I don't think so. Should I?
She's pretty cool. You should definitely check her out.
Is it just LP? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, I'm gonna look her up.
She wrote for a really long time and only just recently started like putting out her own music.
I love that. I love when people do that.
Yeah.
They cross over. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I've seen the one. What's the artist that Javier likes? I don't know how to say his name. You did it recently though.
Maluma.
That's it. Yeah. Didn't you do one of him?
Yeah, I did.
Right. I like that one. That was cool. He's wearing like a cool shirt.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And what I did for all of those was do it in a different style. Like every single one of those images, I was like, I'm not gonna give a fuck about my style. I'm just gonna do it the way that I want to do it, the way the music feels and the band feels, and I'm just gonna go for it. So LP was the last. Sorry.
No, I was saying like looking for like your thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
Or I actually really wasn't.
Wasn't looking for anything.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I'm just going to do it the way I want to do it in this moment, and we're going to see how it turns out.
I love that.
I did LP, and it's super, super angular. Like, way more than what I do now. But I was like, holy shit, I like that a lot. So basically from there is when I started doing it.
And I noticed it, you know what I mean? Like, that's like your thing, kind of like the... angular would be a better way to put it. I wanted to say boxy, but boxy's not right. It's like not boxy.
No, people have definitely been like, can you make my face look less like a box? And I'm like, nope.
Can't do it. That's my thing. I love that. No, it's cool. It makes it a good middle between like graphic design or like a graphic and a picture.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So was that, I mean, obviously it took you however old you were at that point to figure that out, that was your thing, at least your thing for the moment, you know. You might change in a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that tough to find, and that was a big like artistic moment for you? It was like, all right, this is my thing.
It was huge. My art got like 20 times better after I found it,
because it's consistent.
You're consistent. You're less confused. Art where you can tell in a piece when the artist is confused. And they're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm just going to do it. And you can always tell.
That's awesome. I bet you guys get a keen eye for it. The more you do it. Like direction's missing there.
Right. Yeah. One of the best things about VCU was critique and the ability to like understand critique and critique my own work.
Gotcha. And to have people around you that could do it as well. Interesting.
And I have like buddies now who I send work to, and I'm like, something is missing, and they're like, it's this.
Okay.
Like that's what's messed up.
And they can just tell.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Okay, so finding your style was a big moment per se. And I mean, obviously we can't speak for all artists. I'm asking you a bunch of big artist questions, but just answer the best you can. Like, without a style, like, is it like kind of like music? Like, if an artist, each song was like completely fucking different, like it wouldn't work, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
So everybody's kind of got their thing, sort of, whether they know it or not, or hopefully, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. That makes sense. That clears things up a lot. And then that's why people commission you, because they like that style. Okay, all right, sweet. So you find your style. What's kind of next in that era? You start just bolting down on it, making them, or
yeah. I just kind of started making work. Was super excited about it. Then got to a point where I was burnt out from it, because I was like, I feel trapped now, which is the other end of the spectrum. Like, you feel trapped by it, and you're like, I don't know how to get past this. So I had to take a break from it for a minute.
And what'd you do when you break off?
I painted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I started painting.
Way different, right?
Yeah, hadn't painted since high school. So I started painting again, and just like random shit, like trees and landscapes, which is what I do now. But
that's awesome.
I was like, I'm done drawing. It's not working out right now. Graduated in that time period. So I moved back home, started painting, and really enjoyed that, and like found that when I went back to digital illustration, it was a lot easier.
It was fresh again?
Yeah. Okay. It was fresh. I had new ideas. I had new understandings of like how to do stuff. Okay. And then I started selling those paintings.
Let's go.
At the markets.
Let's go. Let's eat.
I was like, oh, I like painting.
I can charge a little more.
I can charge way more for an original painting than I can for.
Why is that? Is it just because they think
it's the original? It's the original piece.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, all my prints are just copies of the original piece. I don't ever do another one.
Okay. So what do you think it converts out to? You've got like one original. How many prints does it take to make the same amount as one original?
5.
5? Okay, cool. Well, interesting. That's still a good way to do it either way, though. That's cool. Yeah. All right, sweet. This is all clicking for me now. This is making a lot of sense, how you guys make money and like how you stay afloat and stuff.
Yeah.
Creatively, what though, like, so like your process is doing it. Like, I get tired of playing sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever just like burn out, like, oh God, I don't want to fucking paint anything. I don't want to do anything like that.
Yeah.
And like, but you can't just stop. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you want to make money or whatever. Right.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, there have been times where I'm like, I'm not gonna make any money this month.
Not gonna do anything. This month is me. All summer me. All summer me.
Right. Exactly.
I love that. Love that.
Cause I like the work just does not turn out well when you don't want to make it.
Yeah. It's just like, you know.
But a good way to approach that is just going back to the drawing board and sketching shitty sketches and doing all the preliminary work and the studying and the like.
What kind of studying do you guys have to do? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Color theory. You do color theory, and a big thing is like just going outside and drawing trees and going to a coffee shop and drawing people to better understand facial expression and things like that. A lot of reading. Yeah,
that's like honing your craft kind of stuff. That's like playing in, you know, or whatever, like jamming.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I also love just like searching for other areas of inspiration.
Yeah. Like
shows.
doing something different?
Yeah. Or just like taking in stuff, shows, movies. Yeah. I love movies.
Me too.
Often, if I'm in a slump, a really good movie will get me out of it because I'll do like a fan art.
Yeah, and that'd be cool. Yeah. Because I get obsessed with the movie after I watch it sometimes, and you're just like living in that world for some weird reason. You know what I mean? It's like just hanging around and Batman. It's like, what the fuck? You know?
Right.
It's like, why am I thinking about this?
Yeah,
you know?
I really wanted to draw Batman. I'm like, this movie's too dark. I can't see anything.
I'm out of black. Can't see anything. Yeah. What was I gonna say about? I was gonna say, are you a documentary person or no?
I love documentaries.
Documentaries get me hyped. I'd be awesome documentaries.
I love documentaries.
And I know what you mean though, because like it doesn't have to be about art to get you hyped.
Yeah.
Like, I preferably not usually. I suppose. Like for me, I've been watching the The Last Dance. Have you ever seen this?
Yes.
The Michael Jordan Bulls
so
one?
good.
I'll be getting hyped. I'm
It's
like, let's
so
fucking
good.
go. Yeah.
I literally played basketball in middle school, and I've never liked basketball as much as I did when I was watching
The Last Dance. Yes. I'm like in it. I'm like looking for 90s clothes online. I'm like listening to songs that are in the show and stuff. Like, it's like dope, you know. But I'm glad you seen it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that's inspiring to see somebody just like fucking obsessed with the craft. They'll go play guitar and be like, yeah, I'll be the Michael Jordan of the guitar. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you channel it. Is that what you do as well? That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
definitely. And that's like why doing the band portraits worked out. Because it was like, I feel no joy. They have a lot of it in their songs and in their music. So I'm just going to take some of that for a little bit and just put it on the page. Yeah.
All right, sweet. This is working out nicely. I'm understanding you guys as a whole now. All right? I knew nothing about art. I've been to like museums and stuff. Like we went to DC and like we checked out all the museums. And I was just like staring at some paintings for a long amount of time. I was like, this is dope. Like somebody spent a couple of years on this shit. Like that's wild. You know? And like when it comes to paintings and stuff, like I've always wondered, like, do you guys ever just like fuck them up? Like, is there a way that you guys like, say you painted something, just it was like, oh, that fucking sucks. Like, but it's like a big mural or something. Like, obviously you don't start over the whole thing. Like, there's a way you can just like cover that up or something, right?
Yeah. No,
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah,
you're like, a new leaf.
yeah. It's like, all right, that leaf ain't it. Let's do another one. Yeah. I always wonder because like they're so huge and they're such huge projects. Like obviously you can't just be like, oh, that stroke was bad. I got to start over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you literally just like make something new.
Yeah. Okay. Out of it.
I'm gonna move their arm that way.
Interesting. Okay. Sweet. All right. On that though, like when you guys are looking for inspiration and stuff, you say that like. So say you're tired of like drawing as a whole, but you draw something new, like you take the documentary and you draw something from that. Does that make it better, or do you usually have to like change over to like illustrating? Do you get what I mean by that? Say I was tired of the guitar and I learned a new song on it. It's like still tired of the guitar, but if I played it on the bass. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Is it you like when you're looking for new inspiration, do you usually switch what you're doing into like something different?
Sometimes. I mean, that's like what I was talking about with the painting, like just being done digitally, illustrating. Everything's cold, everything's sad. I'm gonna paint.
Okay, that's exactly it.
Totally different, totally different medium, totally different mindset. You can't make mistakes. Like you can't just undo. I've like very often been like, oh, this is paper. Like undo from my computer.
Command Z. Why is it not happening? Why is it not happening? I know what you mean. Yeah. Which makes it more special in a different way. I guess, right.
Exactly.
Yeah. You have to capture it. Who are some people that like influenced you in the art world? Like, who would be your Michael Jordan of art or whatever?
Yeah.
You know,
I literally wrote this down because I knew you were gonna ask me this.
I'm stoked about
and
this.
And anytime anyone ever asks me like the artist I like, I'm like, I don't know what art is. Like it's totally blank.
What do you mean by that?
Right.
Tell me. I'm gonna write them down. I'm gonna look them up.
Okay. So children's book wise, I think a lot back to like the things that I took in as a kid. Loved Shel Silverstein. Did you ever read any of the Shel Silverstein poems? They're like pretty trippy and weird.
Yeah, are they? Well, shit, I'm gonna dig it then. Shell, like a shell.
Right.
Like Silverstein.
All right, and he did like the forgive me tree, forget for something. It's about a tree.
One of those things I might recognize if I saw it. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Sweet.
Eric Carle, who did the like Blue Bear, or he's got these like super graphic. I think it's paper. What he does, and then he scans it, so he makes the images out of paper. So they're super just like. I would call his work boxy, like just boxy.
Okay.
But he's a really, really big illustrator, children's book illustrator. Most recently, I've taken a lot of inspiration from concept artists. Yeah, I love.
What is? I guess it's self-explanatory. But how would you describe concept artist for me?
So, concept artist is someone who works on the preliminary images for a movie or a show. So one of my favorites is Paul Felix, who worked on Emperor's New Groove. Okay,
so is it like storyboarding?
No, that's a different guy. That's a different guy.
Right, gotcha.
He's storyboarding based off of the concept art.
Gotcha. There we go. Full circle. What was his name again? Paul
Paul Felix. Yeah, he did the work. He does a lot of work for Disney, I think.
Okay,
or Pixar.
cool. Cool.
But he did Emperor's New Groove, which I love and take a lot of like visual inspiration from.
I haven't seen it. Is it a show?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
Got new content coming.
Yeah. Right now, if I could give you like one illustrator to look up, I would give you I think this is how you say his name. Carlotta Notaro.
Tough spelling.
What
are we looking at?
CarlottaNotaro.
All right, got it.
Yeah, and he's just got like these super beautiful, colorful graphic illustrations that I'm really excited about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And none of those guys are local, are they? No, big dogs.
Yeah,
but
big
like
dogs.
For Athens, is there anybody that you can like hit up? Because like obviously like we can just go like talk to our favorite band in town right now, or DM them and be like, yo, what are you doing here? And they'll usually tell you, I guess. I mean, we can't hit like REM up and shit,
right?
But like to an extent, like is there anybody you can look up to like that and talk to?
I definitely like from afar look up to them.
Yeah,
artists in Athens, it definitely feels more of like a you do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing, and we're just gonna like respect each other from afar. Very excited about this artist. Their name is Ellie Sargoussi. Sargoussi. She's done a lot of work around town. She's got a mural on the Mural Alley between
Paloma,
Clayton.
No. I know you're talking about something different. I think there's only one
near
there.
It's near Paloma.
Yeah,
it's between Clayton and Washington.
Okay, all right. I'll have to glance at it.
Yeah,
and she's just doing local stuff like that. That's one you'd look up to, maybe?
And Lauren Meringue. Does a lot of local stuff, and she's also done stuff for like Nickelodeon, and just cool. Like big stuff like that. So that's like the dream is to work locally, but then also have these really big projects that kind of put your name out there and also put some money in the wallet.
Yes, preferably would be very nice.
She did this. So she did. Yeah,
that's that old Athfest.
Yeah,
that's classic.
So she did like all of the art for the Athfest 2014.
Okay, and you guys, when it comes to art, like obviously less collaborative than music, right? For sure, right? Like everybody's not in your lane, like watching you record or anything, right?
Right, and also you don't have to. Like you said, you don't have to go to someone to record. You don't have to go to someone to master or to mix or to do.
It's all in-house.
It's all you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot less collaborative. And is there, what am I trying to ask? Like, is there any advantage to being somewhere like a bigger city, like with where you can go talk to more artists? Or is it, you think so?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think there probably would be.
Okay, because I'm thinking like you say it's less collaborative, like you don't need somebody to mix master and all that stuff, for example. So would you technically need to be around it more? Like,
well, the only other experience I've had with it was when I was in Richmond, and I was surrounded by these people who are like, and I'm sure there are cities where that is an actual thing. Like you've got all these working artists who are all like the students at VCU, and they're all different.
Yes.
But you can gather and work and know that everyone's kind of like struggling.
Yeah, you're all
that's the biggest
shared
thing.
interest.
Yeah, is just like understood struggle.
Yeah, okay. I wonder what's the name of the game for you guys on like side hustle, you know what I mean? Like is it the prints kind of like you're saying? Okay, so that'd be the
commissions.
Commissions, okay.
Is the big side hustle, I would say.
I imagine graphic design's a big one too for a lot of you guys, but you say you don't enjoy that too much, do you?
But I still do it.
Still do it? Bills gotta get paid.
So I would consider that shirt graphic design.
Yeah. Yeah, that convince the kid merch, you know what I mean?
But yeah, so
I like this thing. Yeah.
Doing stuff like that, like I enjoy it, but it's not, I will do it.
Yeah.
There's like, okay, I'm being creative in some way, but it's not my passion, and because of that, it doesn't come out.
It doesn't feel
great.
like it.
Like there are graphic designers who do amazing work because it's what they do.
I love it. It's interesting. It's crazy how just one thing can just click for somebody, and there's for it's like, oh, I never want to do that.
Yeah,
you know? It's weird, but it's what makes it special, which is great.
Right.
Interesting. So let's kind of get back to. I got lost again on the story. Where were we at? We were at you moved back to Athens and you're kind of trying to find your way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is where we're still at, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Still kind of trying to find the way?
Yeah. I recently did a project for The Bitter Southerner.
What is that? Where is that?
It's an online publication.
Okay.
I think.
I like that name. That's
I
funny.
think they're
Yeah, that's a good name.
I think they're based in Athens, but they also work in Atlanta. But that was my first published work.
What did you do for it?
I did a illustration for a story. So I did
Awesome.
like the header of the story, and then I did a spot illustration inside the story.
Wow, that's sick. Sounds like a big project. Did it go smooth?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah?
So it was the biggest project that I had done.
Yeah.
And
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Sounds like a big step forward.
Yes, it was awesome.
Artist wise, you guys don't really have to put out, I guess your like your art is your content. Like we talk about content on here a lot. I'm sure you know, you're an avid listener. Content wise, like is that a thing for you guys?
Yeah.
Well, what's you guys' content? Is it like pictures?
The process.
The process.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. So like that's the bread and the butter of like seeing you do your craft, right? Interesting. Have you had a lot of fun with that, or you struggle with it, or
I
don't do
like
much? Yeah, you just put up paint.
I will set up my phone to do like a process video of the painting, but it stresses me out.
Like a time lapse, like somebody
like
watching
a time
you.
lapse. And it does. It feels like someone's watching me, and I'm like, oh shit, I just did. That was bad.
Yeah,
And now there's evidence.
Pause. How do I cut this part out?
Right. Exactly.
Well, it's so strange because like I'm comparing everything to music. I'm sorry. It's just my
you should,
my ball field.
As you should.
The music, we want as many people to see us doing what we do as possible. And you guys want that too, but you want to see just the finished product.
Yeah.
And so you guys want to be alone when you're painting and doing stuff, right? For the most part, right?
But you still need fans. Like, so this is something I was taught in school, and I think Trevor told me that it was like a music business thing as well. If you have 1,000 people who will spend $100 on you every year, you're set.
It's $100K, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need the fans. You need the people who are dedicated to your work, who like your process, who like you as a person.
Yeah.
So it's all about the brand. It's all about the marketing. It's all about like being a person behind the art. Yeah,
and I think the content stuff would help that a lot, as opposed to just like, oh hey, here this thing's done. If they saw you like grinding on it, you know, even just some pictures, you know what I mean, it would help. But I'm sure you've done a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. How about some bigger artists? They like fully content based, like post every day?
Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of the illustrators that I follow are like that, because you really just need the people.
It's interesting because like that quote, I have heard that. I think it's just like a quote in general about like how much money. It's like if you got 50 fans, it'll give you $50 a year or something. It's like whatever that math is. Not a math guy, but I love that quote because like somebody was like, imagine how many people, like imagine 100 people standing around you. It was like everybody thinks 100 monthly listeners on Spotify is nothing, but imagine 100 people standing around you. I was like, that's a fuck ton of people. Like I got that many people listening. That's hype. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you guys, you're like, I guess it's everything. The brand and the name is everything. Like if somebody's a fan of you, they'll buy it. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll want to be a part of it. You know. But if they don't like you, they're definitely not getting it. You know what I mean?
The marketing is a big part of it. If your website isn't great, they're not going to look at the prints on the website.
I'm about to say, I bet y'all's website is a lot more like bands don't do shit on the website usually. You guys have to keep y'all's up to date, right?
Yeah, mine's got like a GIF and like all this.
A boomerang on there,
like subscribe to my email.
What's your name on your website?
It's SamWatsonIllustrator.com.
Nice.com. Sweet.
Not Sam Watson Illustration. That is a different guy.
That fucking guy. Man.
Yeah, I know.
Let me catch up to you, man. Well, that's awesome. So, website-wise, do you list all your stuff up there for sale as well? I imagine you do, right? It's not easy.
It's not easy, so I don't have as many things up there as I should. I've got a few. But and then with shows, it's hard because I never know what I'm going to have next week.
Oh my gosh, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So it's difficult.
Because we do merch, and it's like, all right, I listed up 10 shirts on the website. We sold 3 red this weekend. Right. Oh my God, I got to go on the website and take this stock off. I was like, oh my God, yeah. Then somebody buys it, it takes $9 to ship it. It's like, oh my God. Like, why am I even doing this? You know?
Right.
Interesting, though. I imagine, like, what's you guys, like, I keep saying, I want to say catalog, but I don't think that's right. Like, as a musician, we're trying to build, like, a show history and a music, like, history, like a catalog. What's you guys, like, end of the day, like, what do you hope you're done with? Because like an artist or a musician hopes they have a good catalog and a good show history at the end of the day.
Yeah.
When the ball stops rolling, you know, like what's the you just want to be like, oh, I made great paintings, or like what's the final project? Does
the
that make
final,
sense?
yeah, no, definitely. It's very similar. You're like, I did a project for this publisher. I had an artist residency in this place. I did a commission for this thing. You know,
made people happy with this stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
I illustrated this book. So that's very similar. Ultimate goal, just big content.
Okay,
lots
big
of
content.
people content.
Is catalog the right word?
No.
No, gallery.
I guess. Do you mean like just conceptually, or like you look at the paper and the paper lists the things?
Yeah, maybe that.
That I don't have one of those.
Oh man, I know. You know what I mean, though.
Yes,
you know.
A lot of artists will have a CV, which lists everything.
What does that stand for?
I have no idea. It's like something Latin, I think.
Of course. What's kind of like? What are you kind of looking to do next, though? In these next couple of years, like what's the goal for you coming up soon, or by the end of this year? You know what I mean? What are you working on now?
By the end of this year, I'm actually really hoping for an artist residency that I have applied and then done a secondary interview for at the Graduate in Athens.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah,
cool,
so I would work
yeah.
there. If I get it, I would work there over the summer. They'd give me some money to work on some stuff. And I would make headway on a project that I want to do that is Athens related.
Ooh,
and
okay.
So I'm like super, super excited about that.
Any hints on it, or is it a secret right now?
I can talk about it because there's proof that it's my idea.
Yeah.
in the video.
We got it right here, you know?
I want to do a field guide to Athens with like local plant life and where it is. Like, here's the building. Here's like this flower. It's going to have sketches. It's going to have like interactive elements. I want it to be like adult and children like audience driven. So I'm gonna have like pages at the end that's like, draw, you found it, like draw it.
That'd be cool. That's like all up your alley, you know, for everybody.
And it'll just be like this sweet little love letter to the Athens community.
That's great. So like you said looking for like flowers in particular, or just
and
like trees and stuff,
kudzu and
oh, that'd be cool. I love stuff like that. I like when we go to cities and stuff, I'll get like the little map of the whole city, where it's like a cartoon kind of, you know,
right?
It's like spot, there's like people walking stuff. I like stuff like that. So it'd be like that kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
And you're like, this is
that sounds like a big project though.
Yeah.
Well, flowers though, they're seasonal though. Like, is it like a fake? No, it'd be a real flower. So like, but like when they're not there a certain time of year, you know what I'm saying?
I think I would focus by season.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Like, you know what hidden at that point when you put it out, kind of sort of.
And a big part of what I want to do is educational. So it would be like, this is a flower and this is a scientific name and this is how it's important to our pollen. I don't know what flowers do.
Pollination.
Pollination, and these are the things that like it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, that sounds like a big project though.
Yeah.
You guys' projects are bigger too, it seems like.
They're long. They're long. You can work on a book for 5 years. The comic I'm working on now, I've literally been working with the person whose comic it is for 2 years up to this point, and very little on my part has been done, just because there's so much to like think about.
Soak it in.
Yeah.
What about it? Just like details?
Just the scope of it.
Okay.
The scope of creating everything
for a whole project.
That's
wild. I'm surprised I don't get burned out working on something for that long.
That's why it takes so long.
You get burned out.
You work on it for a couple of weeks and you're like, I can't work on this anymore. I gotta work on something. And that's why you work on like 5 projects at a time. Yeah,
so you guys all have your hands in a few baskets and like they just kind of finish themselves over time.
Yeah.
That's wild. You guys gotta love it if you're doing something for that long.
Yes.
Gotta love it. If you're like working something for 2 years, like
yeah.
And I bet it's tough to like accept a project. Like, damn, it's just gonna be. I'll be working on this shit till 2027. You know what I mean? It's like, wow.
No, it's definitely. I've like turned down.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like someone who was working with one of my parents. Like, I want to write a children's book. I'm like, no,
can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm booked.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're not passionate about the project, you're not gonna.
So
do it great.
I get what you mean though. Like, is it wild to be like, all right, I'm gonna be working on this shit for 3 years?
Yeah.
Did that not stress you out a little bit?
No, because you've got so much small stuff in between. Like I've got the markets. I've got like little goals. Like I have this one commission I need to do this week. This is my little goal. So it's kind of like two different parts of my brain. Where one part is like always thinking about the project, and one part gets to think about what I'm doing this week.
Okay. Well, that's smart. Wow, that's really great. I wish I could do that. I'm zeroed in. I'm either zeroed in or I'm completely out. You know what I'm saying? So that's super interesting to me. Have you had any trouble with that? Like, I feel like...
Oh, no, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because to me, it'd be like, oh, fuck, I gotta get this shit done this year. You know what I mean? Or like, man, I gotta do that and that and that. And it's like, this week I gotta do this. Like, it would wire me up. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. Sometimes I'll just like sit down and I'm like, there are too many things.
Too much. Checking this month off.
Right.
It's third month straight. Next month too, probably.
But the month after that,
we're on it.
We're on it.
Shit's getting done. That August.
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
That's good to hear. Not good to hear. I mean, like, you don't want to hear that from anybody, but like, it's just nice to know that. We're not. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, that it's not just me. 'Cause like, if I got too much shit going on, it's like,
no.
Got to chill out for a little while. Interesting. So, how should people like? I hate to say what's annoying about like your commissions, like, like there's certain things about playing gigs that are annoying, like, certain kind of thing you have to deal with. What to you guys is like a good commission per se? Like what do you want people to hit you up with? A clear vision for what they want or not?
Probably not.
So that you can do your thing, right?
Yeah. So the like poorly lit couples photo is my free bird.
Is it?
Yeah. Is like, I don't know how to make this look good.
There's nothing I can do with this.
There's nothing I can do.
That's my free bird. I love that. Oh my God. I know exactly what you mean. Relatable.
Yeah. So I love the ones where they're like, I just love your work. I want you to do what you want to do. Here are 20 images for you to pick from.
Have that.
And then maybe if they've got a cool idea, like I did, one of my favorites is Lord of the Rings. I did Arwen and Aragorn, like the couple.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is sick.
Perfect.
Like I just get to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So like, but when somebody approaches you, you want freedom to work, but like they know what your thing is. I bet you get a lot of I bet you get a lot of stuff that's like, hey, we want you to do this. And it's like, that's not my thing at all. Like I do this, but like it's not my thing at all. And you probably have to do some of them sometimes just to.
Well, and then it's also hard because you're like, I'm gonna get paid for that, but I'm not gonna enjoy it. Like someone asked me to do like a grad cap. And I was like, I can do that, and I'll get money for it. But then it's also like, I know an artist who would enjoy doing that. So check them out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How much stuff do you think you turn down? A lot or a little? I mean, I imagine
a little. Not a lot.
I imagine you do turn down a little just because like they're asking for something other than what you do.
Yeah.
Right? Is that why you usually turn it down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. And timing stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
timing is hard.
Yeah.
The timing is a hard one.
Man, interesting. How could, as an artist, how do you get your name out there to more people? Like marketing? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It's like social media.
I'm trying to think like it's weird, but I'm like trying to think of how it could be done better. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, what's the name of the game for you guys on getting the word out there?
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, it's I guess it's like music where you want listeners to know, but then you also want venues and record labels and agents to know. So, and those are two totally different audiences. Yeah. But I think ultimately it's just the content, like making sure my work is good and I get it out there. And
just the consistency of it. At the end of the day, for an artist, if you're making good stuff, it's going to happen. Same thing with anything,
Yeah.
It won't be ignored. You know what I mean? Another thing for you guys is like, how do you become more, I hate to say nationwide, but like, once again, an artist goes a tour and like some people stay in Athens and only play Athens shows, they only get so big, you know what I'm saying? So like, there's no way you guys can like tour.
I don't think there really is. Cause like, do you have a nationwide artist, like a visual artist that like the literal only one I can think of is Banksy. Like everyone knows the name Banksy.
Yeah, of course.
Fine art is not something that is like a household name anymore. You know, like the Da Vinci's and the Michelangelos used to be a household name, and now it's really not. You've got your fine artists who are working in museums, and the people in that sector know who people are, but outside of that, you're like,
that's interesting. It's so different, and like
it's very different.
It's different but comparable.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, like it's still a creative art, you know, which I admire about it. I actually went through a big I watched the Da Vinci Code. And I was like reading all kind of shit about Da Vinci and like looking at his shit. I was like, damn, dude, this guy's crazy, man. It's cool.
No, it's insane. And that's like why I guess it would be like classical music. It's just a totally different ballgame.
Totally different.
It's very scientifically wound. Yeah. Like you kind of have to be a genius to paint the way they do and to like understand art the way they do.
It's wild. They weren't even Da Vinci. Was he technically an artist first, or did he?
He's an inventor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. An inventor who paints really well, right?
Yeah,
it's like
basically
how do you do both of those? It's crazy. Interesting. So, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to find out is like in this next couple of years, we're kind of closing down now. We're at an hour and 5.
Nice.
We made it. You know the deal. If you make it past an hour, it's a good one. It's a good one. How do you like? What's the next step? What I'm asking for you.
Next step is to just keep chugging along. I really want to get these 3 projects that I'm working on right now. They're big scale projects. I want to get them kind of wrapped up. Actually, I need to start them first, and then next month we'll wrap them up. And just kind of learn like what that field looks like, because what I'm basically doing is like, okay, publishers, I'll deal with you later. I'm gonna do it myself with this right now, and then get to understand that better, and then kind of turn back to the big publisher journey later on when the time is right.
It's like building clout that you can come back with instead of hoping they provide it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
But it's and it's really tough because like when you first get out of school, all your teachers are like, do it now, you're never gonna do it again. And it's like, my work's not like the best now.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, and you've only got one shot. You know, like I had a really unfortunate experience where I reached out to an illustrator that I have a lot of respect for and is like huge through contact through my professor, because he was like impressed with my work, and I was not prepared for that at all, and completely approached it in the wrong way and felt like I like blew that shot.
Gotcha. Which is important to do. And so you think like sometimes you don't get some opportunities, you're like, fuck man, I really wish I'd have got that. But like then like 2 years pass, you're like, I was not ready for that. No. I was definitely not ready for that. So that was good that didn't happen. You know? You kind of feel like that?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm excited for you. I'm kind of excited to see what you do with it. And I got to keep up now. Now I've got a stake in the game. You know, I'm curious. And I'm so glad you come on and give me details on this. I know this is like, I've not been putting it off, like having an artist on, because I've purposely wanted to make the podcast more than music. You know, I've mentioned that to you before. Yeah. But it's so easy to be like, all right, this band can come in and I don't have to think about it much. You know what I mean? It's like autopilot, because like that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? But I want to have more artists on. I'm going to get this other girl that DM'd me this week. She said, have more female artists on. I was like, let's do it. Come on. You come on too. So now this is the first like breaking the ground on an artist episode. I think it went great. Yeah. Were the questions okay?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Questions were great. What I really wanted to highlight was that the industries are not that different. You know, like we're kind of all...
They're similar. Yeah, interesting. And I think there's got to be some kind of collective of art in Athens that we can get going, or like some kind of way to, you know... get everybody knowing each other. Do you know like Sarah Moon or anybody like that?
I know of Sarah.
But she's one of the ones that's also reached out about coming on. I want to get her on as well. And this other girl, whose name I think her name is Natalie. I don't know her exact name. I only met her once, but I'd love to get everybody in touch. You know, like maybe if people could look through the podcast and find artists as well, that'd be great. You know, maybe somebody listened to this that was just a music fan, you know, and become a fan of you. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So.
I also totally forgot to mention it earlier when we were talking about inspiration. Like one of my favorite things to do when I'm stressed is tune in to Jameson on the Rocks.
No way.
Because it's like everyone is experiencing the same thing. I'm like, they're struggling with the same thing, but it's totally different. And I get to think about what they're struggling with. And I don't have to think about the thing that I'm specifically struggling with.
A little escape for a second?
Yeah. But it's also within the same vein of like, they're dealing with cold calls and they're dealing with marketing and they're dealing with agents.
They're looking for agents and all that kind of shit too, you know? It's the same. Well, yeah, you tag me in a lot of stuff, you just like working and you're listening. I'm like, you might be the biggest fan the show has for real, because like you tell me stuff about episodes that nobody else could say. You're like, what was it you said? We were somewhere. Maybe it was after your wedding or something. You were like, when you say if you made it an hour and 5 minutes in, we're so proud of that. That's me. That's me. That's who you're proud of. I was like, yes, you know it. You know it. I was like, I don't think anybody else hears that shit.
Every time I'm like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Love that.
I listened. I've gotten into the dregs because I've listened to like, I think everything except maybe like 2 or 3 that are just way down the bottom.
It? Yeah.
And I very recently listened to the one where you had 2 buddies from high school.
Oh my god,
that was one of my favorites.
Oh my god, Luke and Keith. Everybody should listen to this episode. It's like 19 or something.
Like one of my favorite episodes.
Oh my god,
I was cracking up the whole time.
Dude, we were dying. That was the one. I'm glad you said that, because that was like one of the only ones that got picked up by the YouTube algorithm.
Oh really?
And like it got like a few thousand views in like a couple hours. Yeah. And I was like, of all the episodes, like we didn't talk about shit that was important. Like I interview all these big artists that are killing it, and then I have my 2 homies on from high school. And we just like bullshitted like dumb stories.
About cooking a hog.
Oh my god! Everybody needs to go listen to that one. That's so funny that you found that one. I need to delete that one.
No, please don't.
Can't do it. That's so funny that you found that one. Well, yeah, I'm glad you listened to them all. I appreciate that. Yeah, you have a favorite other than that one? Like any artist ones you really dig?
I really liked the Garrett Cardoso.
Cardoso, yeah, because he was another like a first timer, like a photographer kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's a very fascinating guy. Yeah,
I enjoyed that one
a lot. Fan of
I really
him as well.
enjoyed the one that you just put out, Alex Scale.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, very well spoken, very nice radio voice, intelligent guy. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah,
this is just going to be us talking about the podcast.
Oh, we're wrapping it up anyways. I love it.
I totally agree.
Hold on one second. To anybody listening right now, if you made it 71 minutes in, we're so proud of that. We love you. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I totally agreed with your point that his like path into getting into performing and
backwards.
It was backwards.
Yeah, it's backwards.
Most people are like, I'm a rock star. Yeah. I'm gonna be a rock star.
Yeah.
And he was like totally different.
Yeah,
like very differently trained. And I was thinking about that. I was like, Jameson, you better ask him about this. And then you did. I was like, yeah.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, you know it. That was one of my favorite parts, was that his whole story was like different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like not at all like, I started playing drums and I'm gonna be a fucking legend.
Right.
You know, which is my story.
He was like,
you know
I hate the drums.
Yeah, he's like, this sucks. Yeah, I just wanted to play one. I was like,
right.
Yeah, that was great. I'm trying to think of other episodes that I'm trying to think of key great episodes. I've been doing a lot of like Greek life.
I really
bands.
enjoyed the one with the country singer who was like the other really famous country singer's cousin.
Oh, Bradley Logan Crosby.
Yes.
Yeah, Jason Aldean's cousin.
Yes.
First cousin. I was like, what the fuck?
I know.
And then I didn't even ask him about it much. I was looking back, I was like, hey, that'd have probably been some good clickbait there, you know? Bradley would love that. Yeah, that was a great one. I'm trying to think of great ones just off the top of my head. I think you're going to like Monsoon. Monsoon is the one right after you.
Yeah.
It might be before. No, it'd be before you. It'd be before you. So you'll hear it before this one comes out. Everybody should check out the Monsoon episode. It's pretty sick. They're very smart and killing it. You know what I mean? Like they're like, I would call them a normal town band. We talked about this a little bit. Like there's that line in the sand I'm always talking about where it's like, over here is the normal town band, just like Monsoon, Fishbug, Elijah Johnson, Well Kept, stuff like that. And over here is like I call it the Greek live side, but that's not right. Which is like
maybe just like the downtown
Jameson Tank, Fun Room, people like that, AFTM, Springhouse, those kind of bands that aren't like making as big of a statement as the normal town bands, in my opinion.
Right.
Because they're like, the normal town bands don't give a fuck. Like they're just like writing songs, you know, which I appreciate. But I love both sides. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna dig the Monsoon, right there.
Yeah, I'm super excited about
that.
Also, I love the one with your sister.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, she's a wedding planner. Yeah, you probably enjoyed that. You probably heard that then. I needed to ask you about some wedding. How'd you guys feel about how y'all's wedding went? It went perfect, right?
We loved it.
Yeah.
We loved it.
What was the wedding planner experience like for y'all? Was it good?
with our wedding planner.
Yeah, it's good.
We loved her.
Yeah?
We feel like probably everyone else hated her, but
What?
we
No
could,
way.
just because she was like,
Somebody's got to put the foot down.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we were the only ones who needed to benefit off of that.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I'd say that slot is usually a tough one.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we got to, everybody's like, what the fuck?
because yeah,
like
and
they're
like
trying
the
to
first,
keep it going.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
The first couple times we'd met with her, we were like, oh, that lady's got a weird vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Just because we weren't the couple. And then once it was our wedding, we were the couple. And
We're
she,
like, all right,
yeah,
this is her.
This is our lady.
Put that fucking foot down. Go with it. Yeah, it was a
right.
great wedding. You guys had
Yeah.
Trevor sent me one of the pictures, and it came in low res. I was like, bro, next chance you get, email me that shit because that's a cool pic. We're dancing away.
Oh, I'll email it to you.
Dude, please
I
email
got
it to me. Yes.
I got that.
I was telling him, I might have told you this already too. This was the first wedding I've been to where like music started, song one, everybody in there was like up. You know, usually it's like a few grandmas hanging around. It's like a few your uncle that had too much to drinks out there. He's out there like this, you know.
Right.
But this one, it was like everybody got up there and danced, had a good time. I enjoyed it. So yeah, thanks for having me. Had a good time.
And then Jameson Tank playing our fucking after party
What a good
made the
move.
night. Like made the night. And then I was just sitting around on Washington like a bunch of assholes until 4 in the morning.
Yeah. It was like 3. I was like, all right, I gotta fucking go. That stayed like 30 more minutes. I was like, it's 3:30. I gotta fucking go. That was fun though.
Yeah.
4 rolls and I was like,
it's time to go.
woo! Yeah, it was great though. It was a perfect night. I
it was
enjoyed
a
it.
ton of
Flickr
fun.
was a great call, by the way.
Yeah.
I like that. That might be the move.
Yeah.
I'm plotting for the future. You know, I'm like, hey, the Flickr after party is a good call. Good call. And the venue was super nice. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Oh, I was gonna ask you who your favorite Athens bands were right now. I wanted to see who you were digging.
Yeah.
No Convince the Kid, no Jameson Tank. We're not accepting those. Not accepting
Okay, well, I
those.
wasn't gonna say convince.
Yeah, I
anyway.
know, right? Me either. Me either. Those guys are the worst.
I've seen Asymptomatics once. I only got to see them at the place in Atlanta.
Smith's Old Bar?
Yeah, Smith's Old Bar. But I really, really enjoyed them. They're a fun time.
They are awesome.
Really enjoy Cadillac.
Cadillac's dope. I've only seen them a few times, but yeah, Sam Smith, the bass player, is really good. Good, yeah, nice. Vic's in that band, I think. Vic
Yeah.
Fisher, yeah.
Yeah.
Or somewhat in that band. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I'm just curious. I want to talk about music for a second.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I really liked Red Mile Road.
Me too.
Yeah.
Saw them last night. They were ripping.
Nice.
Yeah, so good.
I was so upset. I wanted to go see Cam in his damn jam band.
I went there
last
too.
night.
What time did you leave? I didn't see you.
I didn't get there. I didn't get to see
you
it.
didn't make
I really
it?
wanted to. I didn't make it.
They were fucking ripping.
Really?
Yes, it's Livewire, so it's tough to get people out there. They had a good crowd for Livewire, honestly.
Yeah.
And like the lights in there are really good, and they were just annihilate. And they got they let the stage and got a legit encore, which doesn't happen much. Like people are like, one more. It was sick. They're really good.
I'd been wanting to see them.
You never seen them?
I've never seen them.
Oh, you would love them.
Yeah.
They have a great presence.
Nice.
Really great. Yeah. Great front man, great bass player, everything. Great
Yeah.
keys. It's great. You should see them. Red Mile Road too, though. At Flanagan's, they were just crushing. They're like, I'm trying to find how to describe them. They're like fucking like low key, like the nicest dudes ever.
Yeah, are
like
they?
Spence and those guys,
Yeah.
like they're just fucking so happy to be there.
Yeah.
They let me sing a song. I sang "Wanted Dead or Alive" with them last night.
Nice.
Cause I wanted.
Yeah.
Damn,
Nice.
it was awesome. Yeah, they're just up there, just
That's a
having a
good time.
blast. Yeah, and Flanagan's. I don't know if you've ever been in there. It's like a really small, crappy bar. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
yeah.
really small. And I was
Yeah.
like, bro, I don't know about this, but it sounded good. I was impressed. Like they should do more shows there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm. What was I going to say? Oh, back to Asymptomatics. I don't know if you get a chance to listen to today's episode that dropped. I did like a semester recap with Jackson Cherioli and Ava Zegers, who are like MBUS students right now. And that was the first name that came up for them too, was Asymptomatics. I was like, dude, people don't know, but Asymptomatics are like a top 4, top 5 band in town, like low key. They're like the best party band in town.
They have such a good time up there.
They always do. They've always got a theme. Their originals are really good. Like I saw them at 40 Watt last week, and it was hurting my ears. They were singing it back so hard, and I'm just happy for those kids. Yeah, I'm stoked on them right now. Stoked on them. Yeah,
I also
they've gotten
really
so
like.
good.
I don't remember the name.
Convince the Kid. I didn't get to see. I didn't get to see the 4-piece run. Was it good?
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah, it was
you like
great.
it better or same or you biased? You have to pick one.
No. Okay. So I like it better just because I'm a big band and drummer person.
Yeah, me too.
I love a good drummer.
Me too.
So I'd been hurting for that for a while, or not a while, probably the last 2 shows. Because the first 2, it's like, this is a novelty. Like, this is awesome.
Very cool. Yeah,
this is just a cool, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
And I go to all shows, so I'm like,
you kind of
getting used to it.
Contractually obliged to go.
Right.
We need that ticket sale. No guest list. No guest list.
Right. But yeah, I thought Vic did great. They pulled in Matthew, which was from the original lineup.
OG. Yeah.
He did great. Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
That's awesome.
It was great. They started playing it was a cover. It was like it's their heaviest cover.
Is it Sabotage?
Yes. They started playing Sabotage, and people were like, oh fuck, and going that direction. I was like, go.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. I think they're kind of geared up to have a big fall. I've been kind of hinting on Jeff on this. I'm like, yo, Stop Asking Questions is a good song. Like, y'all need to make that one a big one. Like, they could put like a 40-watt headlining show on the books for the fall or something. I mean, or a rooftop or something. I mean, they've got some hype right now.
Yeah,
they're like consistent, like they're on like all the bills. So like that's great. Yeah, I'm excited for them. I'm excited about them. Excited about Asymptomatics, Wim Tapley, a few people like that.
Yeah, I like Wim. It was so funny. So I listened to the podcast. Was really excited about the podcast, and then kept seeing his name around town. And then we went to Boar's Head one night, just randomly. I think it was after y'all's Georgia Theater show.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And
awesome.
he played that night, and I'm like 4 beers in at this point, and I go, "You're Wim Tapley."
Yes, the Wim Tapley.
And he was just like.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah. Yes, it is.
So that was great.
I love that, he's really good. He's really good. He's got an energy that you can just tell when he gets up there. And his originals are good. The song "The Woodlands" is really good. But yeah, I'm trying to think about that. I feel like I need to come up with a list of episodes of my favorites. They're all like I like them all. But like there's some of them where it's like that was a good episode.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any. There's definitely a ton of. I can't think of one that sticks out. Because they're all so great. But I'm liking stuff like this, like the Cardoso episode, and then I had Jake Kenny on, who's just a manager.
He's a manager. Yeah, I like that one a lot too.
Enjoyed that one. Like I'm liking the different shit, which is great. And I'm not gonna say I've tapped out the Athens bands, but I am running out. You know what I mean? There's only so many more. But I'm digging over there into the normal town bands now. I want to get like Hefner and like I think Fishbugs and Atlanta band and Daisy Chains and stuff like that. Yeah. If you ever have any suggestions, let me know because you're an advisor of the show. Yeah. So let me know if it's ever going the wrong way. Just give me a shout.
Okay.
All right, let's close this guy up. If you made it 81 minutes in,
we're proud of that.
You're the homies. We're proud of that. All right. Let's close it up. Tell everybody where they can find your artwork. Tell them your name on Instagram, all that good stuff. Yeah.
All right. So on Instagram, I am sam.j.watson. You can find my work on my website at samwatsonillustrator.com.
Not illustrations.
Not illustrations. That's not the one. Illustrator. And then fingers crossed, will be at AthFest with a booth.
Okay. Quick question on that before we close. I reached out about a booth, and they quoted me $650.
Okay, so you told me about this. It freaked me out for a second. But it had to have been something different. It had to have been like a vendor.
That was it. Where's my fucking phone? No, all right, I can check it on here right quick, actually. We probably just do this after, but I asked him again, and they were like, no, that's the rate for everybody. And I was like, I don't think I'm good this year, you guys. Like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I got you right here. Okay. So I said, all right. She said, hold on. We do have vending space available at AthFest. I'm attaching a vending application. All right, you look at it. Commercial vendor, $600. Is it commercial?
Commercial. That's where they got you.
Then I said, is this the one for like independent artists? Considering the art I'm selling as a shirt, $650 seems pretty fierce compared to our usual festivals. We'd have to sell 100+ shirts to break even. We're not like a corporation or anything, just a music podcast selling T-shirts. And she said, hey, this is our rate for everyone selling or displaying anything, even just handing out information. We're a non-profit organization. It's a free festival, so booth fees are how we make our money. Let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, that had to have been their
That's some beer. $650?
Yeah.
You know how much art you'd have to sell to fucking come over that? You gotta sell 10 pieces, right?
Yeah. No. Well, so mine's $250.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
she kept it. The commercial price had to have.
Okay, all right. I'm going to reach back and be like, yo, my name is Sam Watson. I need a booth for my podcast. What? Sam on the Rocks.
I know I applied with those illustrations. Yeah. Scratch it. We're selling shirts.
Forget that. I've got your deposit because $250 is so doable.
Right.
That's no problem. $650 is me taking a loan out. You know what I'm saying? I got to sell my car to go.
Right. Well, I mean, if you want a section of the booth.
Oh, word. I sing you that 125. Sing you that 125 and we'll call it Easkies.
Well, you want the merch box? Yeah. I got the merch box.
They come by and be like, I think you guys are $400 short on this budget. Like, no, we're not. We're not. Yeah. Anyways, I've got some questions about Athens. I'm coming for you guys. Don't make the podcast an enemy, Athens. Don't do it.
Don't do it, Athens.
It's the last thing you want. No, I would never. I love Athens. All right, thank you guys so much. Let's wait for the thumbnail. All right, you ready? Smile. All right, you guys, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, leave us a 5-star review on Spotify, which is a new thing, by the way. They have 5-star reviews now.
I heard that in the last couple.
I'm kind of stoked. Here we go. 2 stars. JOTR. Done. Anyways, leave us a review. Apple Podcasts, leave us a review if you'd like. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. That's where we get the bulk of our views. Would be nice. Trying to put out good content there. Thank you so much for coming on. I had a blast. It was awesome. It was awesome. We made it 85 minutes.
Thank you for having me. I hope the Athens music guys didn't tune out. Like.
No. They're here for if they did, good riddance. No, we love them.
I hope it was.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's the start of a new era for the show. You know, we've had some business people on. We've had some photographers. Time to do some artists. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Have a good one, everybody. See you. Love it. Come